Ella sat by the window of her small apartment, watching the rain slide down the glass in thin, silvery streams. The colony outside was quiet tonight, unusual for the bustling human settlement on the edge of the galaxy. Ships moved slowly across the sky docks, their lights reflecting off the wet streets. Inside, everything was warm and calm, the hum of machines and her own thoughts filling the room. She had spent the day fixing a minor power issue in the colony's energy grid. It was tiring work, but she liked the feeling of solving problems, making things work better for everyone. Yet tonight something felt different, a strange pull in her chest, a feeling that she could not explain. A sudden knock on her door broke her thoughts. It was soft at first, almost hesitant. Ella frowned. Who would be knocking at this hour? She glanced at the security monitor. The screen showed a hunched figure soaked from the rain. He was thin, his clothes torn and dirty, and his face mostly hidden under a hood. He looked like a beggar, a mendigo. Ella hesitated. She had learned to be careful. The colony was safe, but strangers at night were always a risk. Still, something in his eyes, the small part visible under the hood, made her pause. They were unusually bright, almost piercing, and seemed familiar in a way she could not place. She sighed, her curiosity winning over caution. "Come in," she said, unlocking the door. The man stepped inside, dripping water onto the clean floor. He moved slowly, almost painfully, but there was a grace in his motion, a strength beneath the weakness his clothes suggested. Ella handed him a towel. "Thank you," he said quietly. His voice was soft, almost musical, but there was a weight to it, like he had lived through lifetimes of hardship. "You should warm up." "You're soaking," Ella said. She guided him to a chair near the small heater. "I appreciate it," he said again, eyes scanning the room. He paused at the window, watching the rain, then turned to look at Ella. "I've been waiting for this moment," he said. Ella blinked. "Waiting? For this moment?" "I don't understand." He did not answer immediately. Instead, he slowly pulled back his hood. The glow from the faint markings on his skin caught her off guard. Lines of soft blue light traced along his arms and neck, pulsing gently. They were not tattoos. They were alive, changing with his breath. "What are you?" Ella whispered, stepping back slightly. "I am what humanity once dreamed of becoming," he said, voice calm and steady. "I have seen your people struggle, survive, and grow. And now I am here because you are important." Ella's mind raced. Important? Why would he think she was important? And those markings? They reminded her of old colony archives, images of explorers and enhanced humans from decades ago. Legend said they were gone, vanished into space, their fates unknown. And yet here he was, standing in her apartment, looking at her like he knew her. She shook her head, trying to focus. "You must be cold. Let me make you some tea." She moved to the small kitchen, filling the kettle. As the water heated, the man watched her quietly, observing her every movement. Ella felt uneasy under his gaze, but there was no threat in it, only understanding. It was almost as if he could see her thoughts. When she returned with 2 cups of steaming tea, he took one gently. "Thank you," he said. He sipped, then set the cup down, eyes locking onto hers. "You have courage, Ella. That is why I found you." Ella's heart skipped a beat. "How do you know my name?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "I know many things," he said simply. "But tonight is not the time for explanations. Tonight you need to rest. Soon you will understand why I am here." Despite her fear, curiosity overcame her. "Why me? There are thousands of people in the colony." He smiled faintly, almost sadly. "Because you see the world not as it is, but as it could be. And because you will need to make choices that others cannot." The rain continued outside, a soft rhythm against the walls. Ella sat in silence, unsure what to say next. Finally, she asked, "Where did you come from?" "Who are you, really?" The man leaned back, eyes closing briefly. "I come from a place humans once called the Edge. I was created to endure the unknown, to survive where others could not. And now I am here because the time has come." Ella felt a shiver run down her spine. The Edge. She had read stories of explorers sent to the farthest regions of space, some never returning. Could he be one of them? But he didn't look like the images she had seen. Those explorers were proud and strong, but he seemed hidden, almost fragile. Yet there was power in him she could feel, a quiet energy that made the hairs on her arms stand up. She took a deep breath. "I don't know if I can help you. I'm just—" "Then you are more than just you," he said firmly. "You are the reason humanity still has hope. And soon you will see why." Ella's mind spun with questions. What hope? What danger? She wanted answers, but there was something in his tone that told her she would get them in time. For now, she had to trust him, even if just a little. The man's eyes wandered to her workbench, where scattered tools and small devices lay. You are clever, he said, nodding toward the gadgets. A mind like yours will be needed. There are things coming. Things beyond what humans have faced before. Only with ingenuity, courage, and determination can they be stopped. Ella felt a mix of fear and excitement. She had always dreamed of adventure, but never imagined it would find her in the form of a mysterious man at her door. And yet, part of her knew this was the start of something bigger, something that could change her life and the fate of humanity. Hours passed, the rain outside slowing to a drizzle. They talked quietly, not about his origins, but about the colony, about life, about dreams and struggles. Ella noticed small details about him, the way he held himself, the careful way he avoided touching anything unnecessarily, the faint hum of energy around him that made her think of stars themselves. Then, just as she was beginning to feel she might understand him, the colony's security system beeped sharply. A red light flashed on her monitor. The man's presence had triggered it. Ella froze. What is it? She asked, her voice trembling. He looked toward the monitor, expression serious. Energy readings, unusual. I should not be detected like this. Someone or something is watching, Ella's mind raced. Was it the authorities? An alien threat? She had no idea, but she trusted him somehow. He moved closer, placing a hand lightly on her shoulder. Do not be afraid, he said. I will protect you, but you must be ready. The moment is coming when you will have to choose, to act or to watch humanity fall. Ella swallowed hard, feeling the weight of his words. Her simple life, her quiet nights in the colony seemed far away now. The universe had opened a door and she had no choice but to step through it. As the night grew darker, she realized something else. She could not look away from his eyes. There was a story there, a history that seemed intertwined with her own and a promise of adventure she had never known. For the first time in her life, she felt the pull of something greater than herself. The rain had stopped completely. Outside, the colony lay under a quiet, starry sky. Inside, two humans, one ordinary, one extraordinary, sat in silence, feeling the unspoken understanding that tonight was only the beginning. And as Ella drifted into a restless sleep, she could not shake the feeling that the man before her was not a stranger. Somehow he was connected to her past, her future, and the fate of all humanity. Morning came slowly to the colony, the soft light of distant stars spilling into Ella's apartment. She woke with a sense of urgency, the events of last night still fresh in her mind. The being she had let in was not an ordinary human. Something extraordinary lived in those glowing eyes and quiet words. He was already awake, sitting near the window, staring out at the city below. The markings on his arms pulsed faintly, reflecting the early light. When he saw Ella stirring, he smiled faintly. Good morning. I hope you slept well. I didn't sleep much, she admitted, rubbing her eyes. I keep thinking about what you said. About choices. About hope. What does it all mean? He stood, moving with quiet confidence. It means, Ella, that your life has purpose beyond what you imagined. The galaxy is not as safe as your colony. Forces are approaching. Forces that see humans as weak. But humans are stronger than they believe, especially when guided by knowledge, courage, and unity. Ella listened carefully, her heart pounding. What do you mean? What kind of forces? He sighed, almost as if carrying the weight of centuries. An alien fleet long hidden beyond our sensors is moving toward the colonies. They see humanity as a threat to their expansion, and they plan to eliminate us before we can grow stronger. But there is time, just enough for humans to act if they are willing. Ella felt a mixture of fear and determination. She had never fought, never faced a danger beyond fixing machines and helping neighbors. And yet she realized she could not ignore this. Humanity's survival might depend on her actions, her mind, her ingenuity. I don't know if I can help, she said quietly. You can, he said firmly. Your skills, your creativity, your willingness to see possibilities others ignore, that is what we need. I can guide you, but the work must be done by humans. That is what makes them special. He paused, glancing at the faint glow of her workbench tools. Come, we need to prepare. Ella followed him to the bench, her fingers brushing against wires and circuits. He picked up a small device, examining it. Ingenious, he said. With this, you can amplify energy fields. You may not know it yet, but your work can protect millions. For hours, they worked together. He instructed her in subtle modifications, teaching her to channel energy in new ways. She realized he knew not only the theory, but also the practical applications of advanced technologies long forgotten, and she began to understand he was not just a survivor. He was a teacher, a guide, and possibly something more. By midday, the first alerts appeared on the colony's communication channels. Scouts' small fast ships were approaching from the edge of known space. Humans scrambled to respond, but many colonies were unprepared. Ella's mind raced. She knew she could help, but how? The man handed her a device, small and glowing. This will detect weaknesses in the alien shields. You can direct the colony's defenses with it. Ella swallowed hard. You trust me to do this? I trust humans, he said. And you, Ella, have more strength than you know. The first wave of alien ships appeared in the sky. They were sleek, metallic, with a design unfamiliar to humans. They moved with precision, scanning for defenses. Panic spread among the population, but Ella felt a calm determination settle over her. She could do this. She had to. With the device in hand, she focused. Lights on the device blinked, sending signals to the colony's defense grid. She guided turrets, energy barriers, and small defense drones. The alien scouts reacted, adjusting their paths, but Ella was faster. She could see patterns they did not anticipate, exploiting openings with clever maneuvers. The man watched quietly, occasionally nodding in approval. Good. Trust your instincts. Humans are unpredictable, and that is your advantage. Hours passed in a blur of tension. The colony's defenses held, but the alien scouts were relentless. Ella's fingers ached, her mind raced, yet she did not stop. Each successful strike brought a small victory, a sign that humans could fight back even against overwhelming odds. Finally, the lead alien ship appeared, larger and more imposing than the scouts. It moved with a purpose, its sensors sweeping the colony. Ella knew this was the critical moment. She focused, analyzing patterns, predicting movements. The man stepped beside her, placing a steady hand on her shoulder. Now, he said, do what you've learned. Trust yourself. Ella took a deep breath and activated the device fully. A wave of energy spread across the colony's defenses, amplifying shields and focusing firepower. The lead ship faltered, caught off guard by the coordinated strike. The alien scouts retreated, and for the first time the colony had a chance to breathe. The man smiled. You did it. Humans did it. You saved this colony. Ella's hands trembled, but she felt a surge of pride. She had never imagined herself a hero. Yet here she was, guiding the defense against an alien force. And she realized something else. The man had been right. Humans were stronger than they believed, especially when they used their minds and hearts together. As the skies cleared and the alien threat retreated, Ella finally looked at him fully. His glowing markings pulsed faintly, his eyes calm and steady. She felt a strange connection, as if she had known him all her life. You're more than you seem, she said. He nodded. And so are you. This is only the beginning, Ella. There are greater challenges ahead, and you will face them with courage. Humans have a destiny, and it begins with those willing to step forward. Ella realized that her life had changed forever. She was no longer just an engineer in a quiet colony. She was a guardian, a protector, someone whose actions could shape the future of humanity. And she understood something else. She had not just opened her door to a stranger. She had opened it to the future. Days passed, and the colony began to rebuild, repairing damage from the alien scouts. Ella worked alongside others, sharing knowledge, teaching new defense techniques. The man stayed with her, guiding quietly, ensuring she learned, grew, and became confident in her abilities. One evening, as they watched the sunset from her apartment balcony, she asked, "Why me? Why did you come to me?" He looked at her, eyes reflecting the orange glow of the setting sun. Because you see possibilities. You see hope. And humanity needs those who can imagine what others cannot. You are the future, Ella, not just for this colony, but for all humans. She felt a warmth in her chest, a sense of purpose she had never known. I won't let you down, she said quietly. You already haven't, he replied. And together we will face whatever comes. Humans are resilient, inventive, and brave. Never forget that. The night fell, stars filling the sky with quiet light. Ella knew that challenges awaited, but she no longer felt fear. She had discovered something essential. Humanity's strength was not just in technology or weapons, but in courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to stand together. The man turned to leave for the night, pausing at the door. "Rest, Ella. Tomorrow we plan for the next stage. The galaxy is vast, and humanity has only just begun to show its potential." As he disappeared into the shadows, Ella felt a quiet determination settle within her. She had opened her door to a stranger, a mendigo in appearance, but she had found an ally, a teacher, and a glimpse of humanity's true power. And in the stillness of her apartment, she realized that the galaxy itself had changed, not because of the aliens or the threats that lurked in the stars, but because humans, ordinary, remarkable humans, were ready to rise. The future was uncertain. The challenge is enormous, but for the first time Ella felt hope. And that hope was stronger than any fear, brighter than any shadow, and more powerful than any alien force. The story of humanity was just beginning, and she would be part of it.